Hello everyone, my name is Bishal, and today in this presentation I'll present on the 2013 cyber attack on the target. So as I am a digital forensic investigator, so I'm gonna review the case study and try to present my findings on this case study. So here's my first slide. The case background. So if I'm going to talk about this study case background on the target 2030 cyber attack, so the date which the cyber attacks had happened was on November to December 2030. We don't know the exact date mm, when the attack was happened, but uh, 12 or 13 of November, I guess, because the security IT team of the target didn't realize at that time exactly what time it was, and there are millions of victims affected by this attack because all lots of target customers uh, records and data, personal credit cards, and other information got stolen. Uh, According to this case study, I found out that the entry point was from the cardinals from one of the uh, HVAC phasio mechanical vendors. So talking about the malware was also utilized secure Ethernet hardware network programs in back black box. That means that means the malware that has installed in the point of scale system to do the data breach in the target. So failure point was on the case on this data breach on the target was ignoring the alerts of the FireEye, which was a security system in the target system. So in the next slide, I'm going to talk about the investigation objectives. So my objectives as an investigation officer is to create an individual digital fingerprint of all digital forensic images and being acquired by generating SHA-256 hashes, which is the newest one. So on the other hand, I will gonna identify the first entry point of admission through the SBAC prior qualification, and trace lateral movements to points of skill to system, research black OPS malware, and inspect IG engine crack, carefully determine frequencies and capabilities of the leakage of the data, maintaining integrity of evidence to point being the court of law. So all these objectives is data is a digital investigator. I'm gonna try to solve this issue and try to bring my findings, not to try to bring my findings and recommend the solution measures. So the in the next year or the upcoming future, these types of data breach should not be happened. So according to the forensic methodology I will use for this investigation is the first thing that comes is a framework. You under this investigation we use the framework which are NIST-SP 886 and ISO/IEC 27043. So this in this framework we're gonna we have a six phases. The initial stage is identification, which involves in finding a compromised POS and vendor system and reporting indicator of compromise detailing malware has. And the second step is preservation, followed by the collection is the third phase that entails the collection of VPN logs, firewall logs, IDS logs. And the fourth step is the examination, involves file system analysis, registry contents, malwares. The fifth is context of analysis, and at the last reporting is the sixth and the last step that requires the documentation of the all findings as well as recommending security, evidence collection and preservation. In this part, uh, as an investigation officer, there was a system isolated where the POS and the vendor system were guaranteed to avoid further compromise. Forensic imaging, including bit by bit imaging, while FTK manager was used and write blocks implemented. So for the evidence collection, we're going to use the FTK imager. For the preservation, POS terminals, drives, VPN logs of vendors, and the hashing will be used. So if you go precise on the hashing and the data validation, the main purpose of the hashing is to ensure integrity and authenticity of the data evidence. All the forensic images and the files were hashed with the SHA-256. In this case study, we have used the tutorial from the wiki to what to do in the hashing, how to ensure the integrity. Procedures for the retrieving evidence retrieving makes sure all the electronic evidence is captured without any modification. So in this case study, the main leak point is the point of sale system using the black POS installed in the point of sale system from one of the vendors. So we're gonna have to look out bit per bit forensic images and made with right blockers. VPN locks and network locks were exported, and hashing will be maintained. And this left no argument of evidence that will be used in the forensic or court of law. Uh, if we are going to talk about the supervisors and OS from this investigation, supervisors allows one to analyze evidence in a secure environment. It doesn't not change the originals. Means there's some of the basic tools like VirtualBox, Kali, and others forensic tools that will be used. And I think autopsy is one of the one we are using throughout our study period. Uh, if we're going to talk about precise and the malware analysis, it is important to mention malware analysis as a significant component of any digital forensic investigation. It enables investigators to learn how to malicious program works, their target system, and data they assess. So in this case study of the target breach of 2030 required the analysis of black POS malware to identify the way in which the attackers managed to scrap the payment card data directly off the memory and maintain a presence in the POS system and avoid being detected by the security tools. Through malware analysis, the forensic investigator can develop the attack timeline, skill employed by the attackers, and connect between malicious activity and particular users. So if you so the next slide is about the investigation findings. It shows how the attackers can use the compromised SBAC event recordings to gain initial access to a network to use a poor network. And the second thing is assess the black POS malware enables them to steal the payment card information when it was still present in the memory before encrypting it, and the fact that they did not respond to the securities and needed to the severity. More enhanced wider access was also facilitated by the privilege escalation using OS vulnerabilities. It will also assist in maintaining administratively and integrity of forensic products throughout storing, gathering evidence alongside their SHA-256 hashes, writing the chain of custody. Also, the lack of the third-party access control as well as the network segments expose an urgent security gaps that enable the breach. So if we look out all the case overview, what has happened, and some of the things we have utilized in this case study was the hashing and the hyper breaches, the use of forensic tools to investigate this overall case study. So I'm going to suggest the 5 recommended security measures. Try to avoid this kind of data breaches in the future. Is the analysis of the target hack that occurred in 2013. It becomes evident that several security elements are critical. Ensuring such occurrences should not be repeated in the future. So to begin with, the rigid measure of vendor control is to be observed, which implies limited access or assessment boundaries. Segmentation of the network should be adopted. Patching of the operating systems and application in a timely manner is also essential. Organization expect to install instruction detection system, undertake proactive threat hunting, and have real-time incident response producers. Lastly, the establishment of a company-wide security culture will make employee not include the IT department respective to possible threats. So these are my recommendations for this case study. Uh, So at last, the conclusion, the target data breach in 13 shows how a mix up the use of third-party devices on responsive network division and late react to the alerts may cause the loss of data in the target. So these forensic procedures were already used to investigate and collect the evidence, such as preserving of the evidence in form of original and acknowledged data, has encoding by the SH256 chain of custody records, providing integrity administrative of the evidence. This case shows that strong management of vendors, patching network segments, and real-time monitoring and a passive security culture should be maintained for the sensitive customer data and everlasting breaches in the future. So thank you so much. So this is my presentation on this case study, and thank you.